Today's lesson is on groundwater. We're going to be taking a look at how water behaves, groundwater behaves when it's pumped. We're also going to be taking a look at how you set up your groundwater models. When we take a look at the very first one, concept one, we just want to kind of have the water run through your model. So we're going to place on the far left-hand side one of the recharge bottles. As it fills up, you'll notice that all of that leading edge is filling up all the spaces, all the pore spaces, air pore spaces in the soil. It's not this big river or lake that a lot of people think an aquifer is. It's all about just tiny little air spaces with all in the soil particles like this diagram shows you. So when you think of an aquifer, it's just a combination of different air particles filled with water. As it begins to fill, if you'll notice right above where I'm pointing, that is the unconfined area. The confined area is just below it where I'm pointing right now, separated by a confining layer. And now what I'd like you to do on concept 2 is now fill up all the piezometers, those observation wells. On the left side, fill them in red. On the right side, of course, in green. Those piezometers will show us the different water tables once we start pumping from our wells. So I'm just showing you very quickly how to put the dye in. It's not that tough. Green on the right side, red on the left side. So once you get that done, kind of get them off the table so there won't be a problem knocking them over or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the lower right hand, right where I'm pointing right now, the lower right hand hose. And as it does that, I want you to look at the piezometers and their levels. So I'm going to go ahead and open it. You'll notice that the ones that are flowing the fastest are the ones that are in the confined aquifer, the ones beneath the clay layer. And if you'll notice as well, as they're starting to form plumes on the bottom of the piezometer, and that they usually travel in straight lines. Typically. The reason that they're going so fast is because the confined aquifer is being filled up or being recharged by those recharge areas in the left and the right. And as I stop or at least slow down the flow, you'll notice that also as the levels of the water tables start beginning to rise when I stop the pumping, because now what's happening is all the unconfined areas are flowing back into the lake. Now get your hand pump and you're going to set that up so that we can start pumping from well number 2, the unconfined well. So set that up out of the way, and then you're going to pump relatively briskly so that you can see the piezometer readings. You'll notice that once you start pumping and the water starts to flow, the piezometers closest to the well will react the fastest and will try to recharge it, forming kind of a cone around it. And you'll notice that the confined piezometers tend to be up a little higher because they're not being fed by the unconfined aquifers. So you get this cone, we call it a cone of depression. I'll show you a diagram of it in a second. Underneath the cone of depression is the saturated areas of soil, and above the cone of depression are the unsaturated areas of the soil. And here it is here. You can see the cone of depression directly around the well, shaped like a cone. Those areas don't have any or very little water in them. That's why they're called unsaturated. The saturated zone has water still in the air pockets or the air pores of the soil particles. Now what we're going to do is we've kind of recharged everything, got the water levels back up to speed. We've added a little bit of dye, but I want you to look in particular at the plumes on the bottom. See how those plumes have come from the lower confined aquifer piezometers? That's because they were being drawn from the release of the water, the discharge. When any time water is taken out of the aquifer, it's called discharge. When it enters like in rain or rivers and streams, that's called recharge. Now, I'm showing you right now this confined area, confined layer. That gray or black area is clay. Sometimes when there's a crack right there, it'll leak into an artesian well because it's under pressure. The pressure is applied by, as you can see right there, all the water on the left and right. And of course, those things recharge the lower aquifer, which is called the confined, and the lakes, the lagoon, the rivers, the streams will recharge the unconfined aquifer. So I'm going to just add a little bit more. There we go. And we'll add a few more drops to the green piezometers as well. And what we're going to do, there we go. Got them all greened up. And now, again, watch the piezometers. Watch what happens when we start pumping. And there, and we're going to watch what happens to the confined layer as well. So I'm going, again, I'm lowering the water by releasing all the on the right-hand side of the model. And again, you can see the plumes come straight across and are discharging to the right part of the model. And as it draws everything down, you'll notice there's different levels, primarily because they're drawing water from different areas. So water is flowing all over that aquifer, in particular the unconfined one, because it doesn't have pressure and there's no lid on it like the confined area because of that clay layer. There's still cracks in it a little bit, and you'll see a little of it kind of bleeding through, as I'm pointing out there. And but really it still flows relatively easily, and it's easier to pollute an unconfined layer because it's open to the top. So as you can see here, what happens is when you recharge from a lake or a river, it comes out of the river. It lowers the water in the river because there's more pressure, so it fills up or recharges the soil underneath it. I hope this has helped you folks to understand it. Remember, this is concepts 1 through 7. So we're going to be going to 8 through 14 in the next video. And I hope that this will help explain and also allow you to do your labs as well. So as I'm showing you right here, is just kind of showing you where all of the levels are when we ended concept 7, and concept 7 just shows you where all of the water flows. So I'll be seeing you in lab very, very soon. I hope that you understand your groundwater concepts. If not, come see me and we'll take care of that. So we'll see you in the lab, or in this case, the pump house. See ya. Bye.